Your body at 65 is incredibly adaptive. It responds to the signals you give it.
Okay, stop. Before you go and lace up your shoes for your next walk, I really need you to hear me out. There's something most doctors just don't have time to tell you in a quick 15-minute appointment. I'm Dr. Davidson, and today we are going to break down the common walking mistakes that could be quietly, seriously damaging your health.
You know, I've been a cardiac surgeon for nearly 30 years now. And believe me, I've seen just about everything. What's always struck me is the number of people I've operated on who were diligent walkers. I mean, they never missed a day. And yet, they still developed chronic pain, circulation issues, and really poor posture. So the very first question I always ask them is, tell me, how exactly are you walking?
Because this is the hard truth. After you turn 65, your body starts playing by a completely new set of rules. It just doesn't forgive those little mistakes it might have overlooked when you were 30 or 40. And that means the very walking habit that you're relying on to keep you healthy could, in fact, be secretly working against you.
All right, so let's get into the science of this. To really understand the mistakes, we first have to understand what's happening inside your body right now. See, at 65, you aren't just an older version of your younger self. You're operating with a whole different physiological engine.
First up, we've got to talk about something called sarcopenia. It's a technical term, but all it means is the age-related loss of muscle. And it really kicks into high gear after 65. We're talking a potential loss of 1 to 2% of your muscle mass every single year. So why does this matter so much for walking? Well, because your muscles are the shock absorbers for your joints. As they get weaker, every single step sends more jarring impact straight into your knees, your hips, and your back.
Next, let's look at your cartilage. Now this is fascinating. Cartilage has no direct blood supply. It can't get nutrients the way other tissues do. It literally feeds itself through movement, which acts like a pump, squeezing joint fluid into it. But if you move the wrong way, that delivery system breaks down. The cartilage essentially starves. And on top of that, your circulation is changing. Your blood vessels aren't as elastic, and your heart pumps with a little less force, which is why you might start noticing things like cold feet or a heavy feeling in your legs.
The good news is, walking is like a silver bullet for all of these problems, but only if you do it right. So let's get to the heart of it. Let's talk about the most common and frankly the most harmful walking mistakes I see day in and day out.
Okay, mistake number 1, the 0 to 60 start. I see this all the time. People step outside, they take a deep breath of fresh air, and bam, they launch right into their full-power walking pace. I get it. It feels efficient, right? But your body isn't a light switch you can just flick on. Forcing cold muscles into a brisk walk can create tiny tears, and your joints are basically, well, they're running dry without any lubrication.
And the fix for this is so simple. It's what I call the slow start rule. For the first 3 to 5 minutes of every single walk, you need to move at a deliberately slow, almost leisurely pace. Trust me, this isn't wasted time, it's protective time. It's giving your joints a chance to lubricate and your heart rate a chance to rise gradually and safely. Only after that warm-up should you start to pick up the pace.
Do me a favor. The next time you're out for a walk, just look around. I bet you'll see most people walking hunched over, with their head jutting forward and their eyes glued to the ground. In my field, we call this anterior head carriage, and it is an absolute biomechanical catastrophe.
Now, to understand why this is so bad, we have to start with a number, 11 pounds. That's about 5 kilograms. That's the weight of the average human head. And when it's stacked properly right over your spine, your neck can handle that load, no problem at all. But just look at what happens with bad posture. For every single inch your head drifts forward, the effective weight on your cervical spine just multiplies. If your head is just 2 inches forward, which is very common, your neck is suddenly trying to support 45 to 60 pounds of pressure. That's like carrying a small child on your neck. It not only grinds away at your spine, but it also physically compresses your chest, making it harder to breathe deeply.
Okay, let's talk about what's on your feet, your shoes. This is a mistake that so many people ignore, but for your joints, it is absolutely critical. See, after 65, the natural fat pads on the soles of your feet start to get thinner. That means you're losing your body's own built-in shock absorbers.
And here's the secret that most people miss. The outside of your shoe, the rubber part, might look perfectly fine. But it's the foam midsole inside that does all the heavy lifting, that absorbs the impact. And that foam breaks down way before the outside looks worn out. If you walk regularly, you really should be replacing your shoes every 6 to 12 months. Think of them as a medical device, not just a fashion accessory. I want to tell you about a patient of mine, Gerald. He was 68, and he was so proud that he'd go on a huge 2-hour walk every single Sunday. But come Monday morning, his knees were swollen, his back was aching, and he just figured, well, I'm just getting too old for this. I had to tell him, Gerald, you're not too old, your loading pattern is just all wrong.
And his story perfectly illustrates the critical difference between frequency and volume. Your body doesn't adapt well to these huge, isolated stress events. That long Sunday walk was just a shock to Gerald's system. What your body really responds to is consistency. A shorter walk of, say, 20 to 30 minutes, 5 or 6 days a week, is so much more powerful than one heroic, once-a-week effort.
Oh, this next one is a habit you see everywhere. I call it dead arms. It's when people walk with their arms just hanging limp at their sides, or maybe they're stuffed in their pockets. When you do that, you are robbing yourself of a massive benefit of walking. A natural walking gait is a cross-body movement. When your left leg goes forward, your right arm should swing forward. If your arms are still, your lower back is forced to over-rotate to compensate, and that is a leading cause of nagging back pain in older walkers.
Now here's a mistake that literally didn't exist 20 years ago, but today it's one of the most dangerous things I see. People walking while staring down at their phone. Now, of course, it causes that terrible head-forward posture we already talked about. But the real danger here, it's neurological.
See, after 65, your other balance systems, like the one in your inner ear, they start to decline a bit. Your brain starts to rely more and more heavily on visual cues from your eyes to keep you upright. So when your eyes are glued to that little screen, you completely cut off your brain's primary source of balance data. You become functionally blind to your surroundings, to that uneven crack in the pavement, that curb, or those wet leaves.
And let me be perfectly clear. A fall after 65 is not just a scraped knee. So often it means a hip fracture. And a hip fracture in this age group carries a devastating statistic, a 12-month mortality rate of up to 30%. No text message, no email is worth that kind of risk.
And that brings us to our 7th and final mistake. And honestly, this might be the one that surprises you the most. It's the recovery mistake. This isn't about what you do during your walk, but what you fail to do in the moments right after it ends.
Here is a crucial concept that shocks a lot of my patients. Your body doesn't actually get stronger while you're walking. The magic happens during the recovery period afterward. That's when your body adapts and rebuilds itself to be stronger. So when you finish a great walk and immediately plop down on the couch for an hour, you're essentially slamming on the brakes and throwing away a huge opportunity for adaptation.
So what's the fix? It's a simple 3-part protocol. First, transition. Don't just stop. End with a 5-minute cool-down walk and some gentle stretching. Second, hydrate. Drink a full glass of water right away to help your tissues repair. And third, move. For the rest of the day, set a timer on your phone. Every 30 to 45 minutes, just get up and move around for 2 minutes. This little habit keeps the benefits of your walk circulating all day long.
Look, walking is without a doubt the single most powerful tool you have for a long and healthy life. But how you walk determines if it's powerful medicine or just another source of strain. So here's your 30-day plan to make it medicine. It's simple. For week 1, I want you to focus only on 2 things: the slow start rule and keeping your head up. That's it. In week 2, keep those habits and add a conscious arm swing. Then, in week 3, really focus on that recovery protocol. And in week 4, you put it all together. By breaking it down like this, you allow these ideas to become true, lasting habits.
Your body, even after 65, is an incredible machine. It is so adaptive. It will respond to the signals you give it. If you give it the signal of correct, mindful movement, it will respond with strength, balance, and vitality. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. Now that you know the rules, is your next walk going to be a source of strain, or is it going to be the most powerful medicine you have? The choice is entirely yours.